Hi, third graders. Hi, friends. Welcome back to our read aloud of James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. Last time we joined together and we were at a point where they were all just happy and the grasshopper just got done singing to the group and the big giant peach was just sailing across the big sea. So chapter 19. Look, cried the centipede, just as they were finishing their meal. Look at that funny, thin, black thing gliding through the water over there. They all swung around to look. There are two of them, said Miss Spider. There's a lot of them, said the ladybug. What are they? Said the earthworm, getting worried. Well, they must be some kind of fish, said the old green grasshopper. Perhaps they've come along to say hello. They're sharks, cried the earthworm. I'll bet you anything that they're sharks and that they've come up here to eat us. Oh, what absolute riot you are, the centipede said, but his voice then suddenly became a little shaky, and now he wasn't laughing. I'm positive that those are sharks, said the earthworm. I know what a shark is. And so, in actual fact, did everyone else, but they were too frightened to admit it. There was a short silence. They all peered down over, anxiously looking at the sharks, who were now cruising slowly around and around the peach. Well, just assuming that they are sharks, the centipede said, there still can't possibly be any danger if we're way up here. But even as he spoke, one of the thin black fins suddenly changed direction and came cutting swiftly through the water right up to the side of the peach itself. The shark paused and stared up at the company with a small, evil eye. Go away, they shouted. Go away, you filthy beast! Slowly, almost lazily, the shark then opened his mouth, which was big enough to have swallowed a huge type of animal, and then made a lunge right at the peach. They all watched and gasped. And now, as though at a signal from the leader, all of the other sharks came swimming in towards the peach. They were clustered around it and began to attack it furiously. There must have been 20 or 30 of them at least, all pushing and fighting and lashing their tails and churning the water into a froth. Panic had broke out immediately on top of the peach. Oh, we're all finished now, cried Miss Spider, wiggling her feet. They're going to just eat us up and eat the whole peach, and then there's going to be nothing for us to stand on, and they're just going to eat us. She's right, shouted the ladybug. We're lost forever. Oh, I don't want to be eaten, wailed the earthworm. But you know they're going to take me first because I'm so fat and juicy and I have no bones. Is there nothing we can do? Asked the ladybug, looking over at James. Surely you can think of something, some way out of this. Suddenly now, all the insects were looking at James. Think, begged Miss Spider. Think, James, think. Come on, said the centipede. Come on, James. There must be something that we can do. Their eyes were waiting upon him, and they were tense, anxious, and pathetically hopeful. Chapter 20. There is something that I believe we might want to try, James Henry Trotter said slowly. I'm not saying it will work. Well, tell us, cried the earthworm. Tell us quick. Oh, we'll try anything, said the centipede, but you must hurry, hurry, hurry. Be quiet and let the boys speak, said the ladybug. Now go on, James. They all moved a little closer into him. There was a long pause. Go on, they all cried frantically. Go on. And all the time while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks threshing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. Come on, James, said the ladybug, trying to push him along. I'm afraid it's no good after all, James murmured, shaking his head. I'm terribly so sorry. I forgot. We don't have any string, and we would need hundreds of yards of string to make my idea work." "Well, what sort of string?" asked the old green grasshopper sharply. "Any sort, as long as the string is long." "But my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We have what you want." "How? Where?" "The silkworm!" cried the old green grasshopper. "Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day long, but we can easily wake her up and make her spin." "And what about me, may I ask?" said the spider. "I can spin as well as the silkworm. What's more, I can spin our even patterns." "Can you make enough between you?" asked James. "As much as you want. And quickly?" Of course, of course. "And would it be strong?" "The strongest there is. It's as thick as your finger." "But why? What would we be doing with it?" "I'm going to lift this peach clearly out of the water," James announced firmly. "You're mad!" cried the earthworm. "It's our only chance." "That boy's crazy. He's joking." "Go on, James," said the ladybug gently. "How are you going to do it?" "Sky hooks, I suppose," was saying the centipede. "Seagulls," James said loudly. "This place is full of seagulls. Look up." So they all looked up, and they saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling around and around in the sky. "I'm going to take long silk string," James went on, "and I'm going to loop one end of it around the seagull's neck, and then I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach right here." He pointed to the peach stem, which was now standing up like a short little stick, massive in the middle of the deck. "Then I'm going to get another seagull and do the same thing, and another, and another, and another." "Ridiculous!" they shouted. "Absurd! Poppycock! Madness!" And the old green grasshopper said, "How can a few seagulls lift an enormous thing like this up in the air, and plus all of us on it? This would take hundreds, no, this would take thousands of—" "There is no shortage of seagulls," James answered. "Look for yourself. We probably would need 400, 500, 600. We might even need 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them one by one until the peach is lifted. They're bound to lift us at the end. It's like a balloon. If you give someone enough balloons to hold, I mean really enough, then up he goes. And a seagull has far more lifting power than a simple balloon. If only we have the time to do it. If only we are not sunk first by those awful sharks." "You're absolutely off your head," said the earthworm. "How on earth do you propose to get a loop of string around a seagull's neck? I suppose you're just going to fly up there and catch it yourself?" "The boy's dotty crazy," said the centipede. "Let him finish," said the ladybug. "Go on, James. How would you do it?" "With bait." "Bait? What sort of bait?" "With a worm, of course. Seagulls love worms. Didn't you know that? And luckily for us, we have one of the biggest, fattest, pinkiest, juiciest earthworms here in our whole world." "Oh, you can just stop right there," the earthworm said sharply. "That is quite enough." "Go on," said the others, beginning now to grow interest. "Ooh, please go on." "The seagulls have already spotted him," James continued. "That's why there's so many of them above us circling. They aren't daring to come down here while we're all here standing. So this is what—" "Stop!" cried the earthworm. "Stop, stop, stop. I won't have it. I refuse. I. Be quiet," said the centipede. "Just mind your own business." "I like this. My dear earthworm, You are going to be eaten anyways. So what difference does it make whether it's eaten by a shark or by a seagull? I won't do it. I won't. Well, why don't we first hear what the plan is, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is, cried the earthworm. I'm not going to be pecked at to death by a bunch of seagulls. Oh, but you will be, said the centipede. I shall respect you then for my whole life for saving our life. So will I, said Miss Spider, and your name it will be in all of the newspapers. Earthworm gives his life to save his friends. But you won't have to give your life, James told them. Now listen to me. This is all what we have to do. And that brings us to chapter 21, which will be for tomorrow. Ooh, I wonder what the plan will be. Kind of interesting for James to come up with such a clever idea. All right, third graders and my other friends, have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.